Listen closely for a moment and pay attention to what unfolds, because even when you doubt the answers being given, this is precisely how Parliament operates in all its chaotic glory. We witnessed extraordinary scenes in the House of Commons. As Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch rose from her seat, completely blindsiding Prime Minister Keir Starmer during Prime Minister's questions. The exchange was nothing short of electrifying, with Badenoch unleashing a relentless assault that exposed glaring weaknesses in Labour's approach. Her attack was calculated, devastating, and left the Prime Minister scrambling for coherent responses.
Leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch.
Mr. Speaker, 3 weeks ago, the winter fuel policy was set in stone. 2 weeks ago, the Prime Minister U-turned. Today, the Chancellor is rushing her plans because she just realised when winter is. So, on behalf of the pensioners who want to know, can the Prime Minister be clear with us here and now? How many of the 10 million people who lost their winter fuel payments will get it back?
Prime Minister.
Well, I'm glad to see she's catching up with what happened 2 weeks ago. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, at the budget, we took the right decision to stabilise the economy because of the £22 billion black hole that lay left. And the signs, we took the right decisions. The growth figures are up, the interest rates have been cut, and we got 3 trade deals. So we will look again, as I said 2 weeks ago, at the eligibility for winter fuel, and of course we'll set out how we pay for it. But because we've stabilised the economy, Mr. Speaker, we on this side are committed to the triple lock, and that increased pensions by over £400 this April. On their side, they say the triple lock is unsustainable, and I think her position is she wants to means test it.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister clearly has selective amnesia. I asked him 3 questions about the winter fuel payment 2 weeks ago, and he was floundering. The fact is, he hasn't answered the question I asked him. He hasn't answered the question I asked him. He can't tell us who will get the payments. All we see is U-turn after U-turn. His head must be spinning. Will he apologise now for taking the payments away in the first place, including to his own backbenchers? And can he tell us how he's going to pay for this?
Well, Mr. Speaker, we took the right decisions at the budget because we needed to stabilise the economy. She needs to apologise for the fact that they left the economy in a terrible state. We had a mini budget which blew up the economy, and we were left with a £22 billion black hole. When she gets up, perhaps she should apologise for that.
Mr. Speaker, the OBR has said there was no such black hole. He's just given away £30 billion for the Chagos Island. That's his black hole. He hasn't stabilised the economy. Borrowing prices are higher now than any time in the last Parliament. He has not stabilised the economy. He has no clear answers on what he's doing. It's just chaos, chaos, chaos. He keeps making announcements with no detail. So let's move to another area of confusion. Can we get a simple answer? Will the government keep the 2-child benefit cap?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm absolutely determined that we will drive down child poverty. That's one of the proudest things of the last Labour government. That's why we've got a task force. That's why we've got a strategy, and we'll set out that strategy in due course. But we drive child poverty down. Under them, poverty always goes up.
Kemi Badenoch.
I didn't ask him about a task force. I asked him if he will keep the 2-child benefit cap, and he doesn't know. It's just chaos and uncertainty. He has no details. He is briefing something and causing a lot of confusion to the people out there. But on that 2-child benefit cap, Mr. Speaker, I'll tell him this. I believe in family, but I also believe in fairness. Yes. On this side of the House, we believe that people on benefits should have to make the same choices on having children as everyone else. Yes. What does the Prime Minister believe?
Mr. Speaker, I believe profoundly in driving down poverty and child poverty. That's why we'll put a strategy in place. But she talks about head spinning. There's only one leader, Mr. Speaker, who's been praised this week by the Russian embassy. And if she carries on echoing Kremlin talking points like this, Reform are going to be sending her an application form for membership.
Kemi Badenoch.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I asked the Prime Minister what he believes in. He had to look in his folder to find the answer. His MPs behind him know what they believe in. He doesn't know. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, he has been in government for nearly a year. It's only going to get harder. It's only going to get... Yes. He's been in government only a year. It's only going to get harder and harder. The canned forced laughter, the planted questions, all of this is going to disappear because at every single point, things are getting worse. He has to ask Morgan McSweeney what it is that he believes in. But the fact is that chaos is being felt in the economy. The Chancellor said she would not be coming back with new tax rises, but she will have to pay for all of these U-turns which she's announcing out there, isn't she?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm going to look in my folder because here I've got the quote that she had on Sky News. I will read it, thank you. It's what the Leader of the Opposition says. It's worth listening to. What she said was this: Sky News, Mr. Speaker, Israel is fighting a proxy war on behalf of the United Kingdom, just like Ukraine is on behalf of Western Europe against Russia. Well, that was certainly noticed in the Russian embassy, because they put out a statement saying the Leader of the Opposition has finally called a spade a spade. Ukraine is indeed fighting a proxy war against Russia on behalf of Western interests. And they went on to say the illegitimate Kyiv regime, created, financed and armed by the West, has been at it since 2014. So they endorse, they want the detail. I've given the quote. That's what Russia said in response. She asked me what I believe in. I believe in standing by Ukraine and calling out Russia as the aggressor.
Mr. Speaker, it was our government that stood behind Ukraine and led the way in Europe. Everything he has said this afternoon is total nonsense. Obfuscation, avoiding the question. He doesn't have any answers. It's disgraceful. I asked him, Mr. Speaker, about the two-child benefit cap. He's talking about the Kremlin. He's saying everything he can to distract from the mess he is making of our economy. The OECD has downgraded growth for the next 2 years. He can't rule out tax rises. The police chiefs are saying they don't have the money they need to keep the public safe. Just as he's releasing more criminals onto the streets. His cabinet are squabbling with each other. They've said that they've lost control of the borders, but he still managed, Mr. Speaker, to find £30 billion to give away the Chagos Islands. This is total and utter chaos. 2 weeks ago, he was crowing about his historic trade deal and how he got 0% tariffs on steel. Now the steel industry will face 25% tariffs unless he does exactly what President Trump tells him to. It is chaos, chaos, chaos. And isn't the root of the chaos, Mr. Speaker, that it is about this Prime Minister, his decisions and his judgment?
The root of this chaos traced directly back to the Prime Minister himself. His decisions and judgment consistently created more problems than they solved. Rather than providing leadership, he generated uncertainty and confusion across every policy area. Take a moment to subscribe if you want continued coverage of these parliamentary moments that reveal so much about our political system. Badenoch's performance represented more than effective opposition. It demonstrated genuine political leadership. She didn't merely criticize, she offered alternative principles and clear policy positions. Her questions were specific, her criticisms were substantive, and her alternative vision was coherent. The contrast with Starmer could not have been starker. Where she showed preparation and principle, he displayed confusion and evasion. Where she articulated clear positions, he offered vague platitudes and deflection. This exchange will be remembered as a defining moment in British politics. It revealed the fundamental weakness of a prime minister who lacks both conviction and competence. When faced with direct questions about his government's policies, he proved incapable of providing straightforward answers. The implications extend far beyond parliamentary theater. A government that cannot articulate its principles or defend its policies cannot effectively govern. Citizens deserve leaders who can explain their decisions and take responsibility for their consequences. Kemi Badenoch's performance demonstrated what effective opposition looks like. She held the government accountable, exposed their weaknesses, and offered alternative approaches. Most importantly, she showed that political leadership requires more than managing crises. It demands clear principles and the courage to defend them. The parallel coverage of Chancellor Rachel Reeves' interview about grooming gangs revealed similar patterns of evasion and deflection. When confronted about the government's disgraceful dismissal of those calling for nationwide inquiries, she proved equally incapable of direct answers or genuine accountability. This combination of parliamentary weakness and media evasion suggests deeper problems within the current Labour administration. Their inability to provide clear leadership on crucial issues undermines public confidence and democratic accountability. British politics deserves better than chaos, confusion, and constant deflection. The contrast between effective opposition and weak government has rarely been more apparent than in these recent exchanges.